Hi, welcome to Yukon Speaks, a podcast that elevates Yukon's best. I'm your host, Brian Pillmore, and in each episode, we delve into the stories of the leaders, innovators, and visionaries who drive our city forward. Join us as we uncover how these remarkable individuals got their start, what they're passionate about today, the challenges that they navigate as they shape the Yukon of tomorrow. Our conversations aim to highlight and elevate the best of Yukon, offering insights and inspiration from the heart of our community. Today, we're joined by Andi Holland of Savannah Station. Thanks so much for joining us, Andi. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Brian. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, I'm excited to be out. We're right here at Savannah Station, which a little bit north on Frisco Road, right?
Right.
Just get a little gravel in your travel. Actually, they were all paved roads coming up here, which was kind of better than I expected. This is the first time I've been here, so
We have an amazing facility.
and it looks like really improving based on the truck I saw outside. You guys are about to put in a bunch more fence.
We are. Wait.
Donated. That's amazing.
It
What
is
an
amazing.
asset for Savannah Station. So, Andi, tell me, how did you get your start here at, and how did you come to this place?
So Savannah Station started in 2013, very small. Started with a few special needs families, a handful of volunteers, a retired special education teacher, and 3 horses.
Oh my.
And so they just decided they were going to do it. And so the amazing part was they loaded up the horses, the tack, the equipment, everything, and went to 3 different barns every week.
Oh my goodness. That had to be a monumental effort and exhausting.
Yes. So that went on for a few years. By 2016, we rented a facility owned by Redlands Community College out on Highway 81 north of El Reno.
Yeah.
And that's where we really found our footing and gained kind of who we were and what we wanted to be, found our foundation for our own place, a place that could be our forever home. And one day, just out of the blue, I get this call from a trainer. He'd been in the horse business for 30, 40 years, had a training facility in Yukon, which was where we wanted to be.
That's
And
amazing.
so he starts telling me, it's 20 acres, 2 homes, 2 indoor arenas, 27 stalls, and I'm just thinking,
The best thing you could ever have happen to you.
World. He just went on, and finally I asked him, well, are you going to give it to us? No, but if it's meant to be, it will come to pass. I thought, okay. So I hung up the phone, went right back to work, kind of out of sight, out of mind. Well, a few months later, one of our board members came in and she said, hey, my husband has been talking to a guy that wants us to build a house on his land. He's retiring from a horse training facility, and I really think we need to go look at it. Same guy,
Wow.
Yeah. And so February 2020, we come out and look at the place, and the board's just going, well, yeah, this is the place. This is it. But how in the world would we ever, this little nonprofit, how would we do that?
Yeah.
And so we all leave, and it's like, well, okay, we don't know. And then again, a few months later, I get a call from grandparents, their granddaughters in the program. And they say, Andi, we've been praying about it, and when you find your forever home, you let us know, and we're going to help you get it. Brian, they ended up paying half of the cost.
Oh my. That's spectacular.
Spectacular. So January 21, this became our home.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, and it's an impressive facility. I mean, I haven't even explored most of it, but I'm blown away that it's right here in our community. Tell me, where were you before you came to Savannah Station?
So I'm a longtime lover of horses. My earliest memories, and my parents tell me that as soon as I could talk, I started asking for a horse every birthday and every Christmas.
My daughters do the same. Should I give in? I don't know.
Absolutely. Get them to the barn.
Dangerous.
And I just couldn't understand why we couldn't have it in the backyard.
Oh, of course.
What is the deal?
Yeah, I mean.
So years go by. I marry an Air Force officer. We go all over the United States with his career. And then our daughter, who was 11 at the time, came home with a flyer in her backpack. and we were in Wichita Falls at the time, and there was a therapeutic riding program that wanted help in the summer with their horses. And so she did that, and we got to see the program in action, and I was just blown away. It was like, wow, I'm going to do.
You saw the impact that it could have.
Oh, immediately.
It's amazing.
And she was 11 at the time, and so many years go by. She's 38 now. And so many years go by, and it never left me. It was like, when I retire, this is going to be my retirement job. So 2014, 15, we were doing at the time. And then we were now in Enid at Vance Air Force Base, and my husband retired from there. And so I decided it was time to get certified. And so I did that. Actually got certified in 2015, and was just we lived on some property and had horses by that time, and I was just going to do my backyard. And so my dad and mom, who I was from junior high on, I was raised in Yukon, and Excellent. So my dad became very ill, and we just felt impressed that we needed to come home. And so we sold what we thought was going to get a call one night from Jerry Fanning, girl I'd gone to high school with. And she says, "Okay, Andi, here's the deal. I hear that you're certified and that you're married." So that's how that happened.
No good deed goes unpunished.
So
you got appointed.
So October 2017, I became the director of Savannah Station.
That's amazing.
And God has just done mighty, mighty things for us. When we moved from El Reno to Yukon with the program, we had 34 students in the program. We had about 64 volunteers.
Wow.
And we had 7 horses. And today we have over 85 volunteers.
Oh my.
85 students.
Oh my.
Yeah, over 200 volunteers.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and 15 horses.
Spectacular.
So God has just kind of blown the doors off.
That's amazing.
And it just continues to we got 6,000 feet of pipe being
delivered. Oh, that's beautiful.
Today.
I know you guys will turn that into beautiful fence.
Yeah. So,
an effort to making Savannah Station what it is. Tell us about the program. I've never been involved in a therapeutic riding program as a volunteer, and I'd love to know more about it.
Awesome. Well, it is spectacular, and what we do and what we see through the gifts that God has given the horse is connection, acceptance. That's what happens on an emotional level. Children who, in many parts of their lives, are the last to be chosen or not picked at all, completely overlooked. Or can't join in because of their disability. And so what they find here is complete unconditional acceptance, love. Our volunteers pour themselves out into these families. This is the place where they are the superstars. They shine.
Yeah.
And they come every week. They're part of a group lesson, so they're getting that interaction with others that have some of the same challenges that they do. Families find support here.
Yes.
From other special needs families. They can share the joys. They can also share the challenges of raising a special needs child. And so it's just miraculous. What we see on a physical level is because the horse can carry us,
yes,
they really are the ultimate therapeutic animal. Many animals can be therapeutic, dogs, goats. I mean, any animal.
I've seen, but not participated in goat yoga. But I think therapeutic riding programs are superior. I haven't even participated, but I think it's superior to goat yoga.
Yeah, it's a thing. So so what we see happening physically is when we connect that child with that horse and we actually put them on. The movement of the horse is very similar to the movement of a human.
Yes.
So for many of them who are using wheelchairs for mobility or crutches, things like that, it may be the only time that they get to experience the sensation of walking.
Wow.
That's huge.
That's a big deal.
It is. But what they're also doing with the horses, they're building strength, they're building stamina, and their egos just go through the roof. You know, the confidence is just through the roof. So while they're moving, while we're riding the horse, and all of that is happening, we're asking them to do things too. So we might have them pick up
the goals
whatever.
that they're accomplishing as well.
Wow. Every lesson, they're learning the riding skill.
Yes.
That could be, you know, to whoa your horse, or to turn a circle, or to rein to the left. Whatever it is we're learning that day.
Yeah.
Every lesson.
Within their own abilities.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah. Every lesson has a riding skill. And then we're working on therapeutic skills as well.
Now, are these lessons, are they something that is standard across the therapeutic riding program industry? I don't know if I'd call it industry, but across the community? Or is this something, or have you guys modified it, or you know, you were involved in other programs like the one in Wichita Falls? Is it, are they all, you know, are they similar, or, you know, very different?
You know, we have a lot of autonomy, but all of us, I don't say all of us, but many of us are under an organization. It's called PATH International, Professional Association of Therapeutic Horsemanship. They really are the leader, have been since the 60s.
Excellent.
In therapeutic riding.
Yeah.
And so we are a member center, and
they have some standards, I assume.
we meet
Yeah.
all their standards.
You meet and exceed their standards, yeah.
And so we are actually working on their highest level of certification as
A lot of effort into achieving that status.
We have it, but the reason being, you know, there will come a day that myself and members of our board will all change. And in order to ensure that the foundation we have laid remains the foundation as we go forward, and obtaining that certification is one way to do that.
That's a huge part of any succession plan, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's really important for leaders in any organization, whether it's Savannah Station or our own succession. What are those conversations like that you've had with the board in thinking through, you know, how this lasts beyond your own service and your own lifetime?
Exactly.
What are those like when you've had those?
Well, you know, we have strategic planning every year with our board, and it's been, we've grown so quickly and now have responsibility for so much.
Yes.
It's like, okay, so what do we do in the future, you know, when I'm not here, you're not here? How do we make sure that the next generation of Savannah Station leadership has the same level of commitment and the same level of foresight based on a strong foundation? So most of our conversations are run in the circles of how do we build a solid foundation in our values, in our character.
Those values and the strategy, right, and the character helps to drive the tactical day-to-day decision stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, one comes from the other.
I wear this. This is a widow's mite because this program requires it. This is God's program. We know that. It's foundational to who we are. And we tell everyone who comes into our family that that's who we are, and those are the principles that we live by.
Yes.
And we know that if we continue to do what is right based on what has been given us,
Yes.
that this will continue to flourish.
Absolutely. It's beautiful. So tell me, obviously you've seen lots of other communities as your husband's Air Force career took you and your family elsewhere. You know, you've seen it over your lifetime.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'm so proud of Yukon. You know, we came here in the early 70s, and it was very small then. You know, we while I was in high school, we got the first McDonald's, which was so exciting.
Yeah.
And so we've seen it grow up through the years. And one thing I love about Yukon is I graduated in 78. My class gets together every few years for our reunions. And what we talk about a lot as a class is, you know, we turned out to be good people.
Yes.
And I think Yukon is full of good, solid people working hard, raising solid families. I mean, we're not, we have our things. No town or city or state is perfect, but we have a hard line. We want to be known for the good things we do.
Absolutely.
I truly believe that.
Absolutely.
And in our leadership, the management of our city, it's you can see that.
Yeah, people care.
Yeah, they really do care.
Whether it's the citizens themselves, they care about themselves, their family, their neighbors, their charitable organizations like Savannah Station or their church. People really deeply care, they want to see. They care about the broader community.
Right. And we see that in you mentioned some of them, but in our schools.
Yes. Even when people disagree, there's no disagreement about how important the community is, and how people disagree about how they want to get something done or what they want to get done, but they all agree that they want the community to be great and be better.
Yeah, and there's some huge impact.
Oh yeah.
So
people travel far and wide. Some of them.
And there are lots of therapeutic riding is always going to be. So a couple of years ago, we started a program for senior citizens, 75 and above. Runs in the spring and the fall. We know they're not going to come in the cold, and they're not going to come in the heat, so spring and fall.
That's good.
And we work on balance, and we work on flexibility. And so we have a couple of grants out in the wind, and if we're truly hoping that one of them come back in time where we can start a program for our veterans in the fall.
Outstanding.
Working on challenges of PTSD.
Yes.
So, we want to be a really big part of the community as well.
That's very exciting. It
is very exciting.
It's great to meet the needs of so many that can benefit from therapeutic riding. What are the challenges that you're currently facing? Whether it's in your own organization or in the broader community that that you're challenged by.
Trying to get a building permit right now.
Yeah.
So that we have.
Yeah.
So making that process a little more streamlined sure would be helpful.
I think so. Yeah.
But besides that, in our work, we don't charge for our services, and so everything we do is completely free to these families. And because of that, we rely solely on our volunteers to help us put these classes together. But because we don't charge for our services, we can't expand as quickly as we would like to.
Yes.
Our waiting list just continues to grow. We have 40-some families waiting on the waiting list right now.
And I don't know if you think about it this way, but when you estimate the cost of programming for an individual student, do you have an estimate?
About $5,000.
About $5,000 per student. Mm-hmm. And how long does that program last that student goes through?
They start at age 4, and they can ride throughout their lifetime.
Wow.
So there's not an end date.
Yeah.
Now, we do need to remove that student from the horse. We've got to be able to
you got to be able to.
And our veterans program will be a ground program.
Yeah.
But so, we come up against barriers of how do we add more classes, and there's a lot of factors that have to go into play. Do we have the instructors? Do we have the volunteers? Do we have the horses?
Yes.
And then, then we come to a max. Well, how many horses can you put on 20 acres?
Yeah.
And so all of that has
there's some hard limits. Yeah. But you guys are making the most of what you have here. Give me your, vision cast for me as a leader, a community leader here in Yukon who grew up in the community, went to school in the community. Tell me in yours.
I see it just getting better. I think that as we continue to grow, and I see so much growth throughout our community right now, I think that there will be a challenge to continue to hold on to the work ethic and the character traits that have gotten us to this point.
Yep.
Quite honestly.
Yes.
That's going to take some strong leadership to keep steering us in the right direction. I think that a strong school system, strong churches, and a lot of that is all of those meet together through the chamber and other organizations like that. I think that has to continue. I think our strong leaders have to continue to be bold and stand up and lead and fight for what our community needs back, I suppose, or to think that someone else is going to do it.
Yep.
So, but I see a bright future for Yukon. You know, Oklahoma as a whole. I mean, we just found out this last week that we're going to get to host part of the Olympic.
It's a big deal,
venues.
right? Yeah, it's exciting.
I mean, who would have ever thought?
Yeah. The Olympic venues for LA, I don't know how this, I guess airplanes can fly to and from in a couple hours.
Right. So, I think the future is super bright. It's
Absolutely.
just not to leave behind the things that make us so special.
Yeah. That's
Our,
great.
Our
Really good
Czech
insight.
heritage
Absolutely.
is so strong.
It's very rich. Yep.
And we don't want to lose that.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
So, all of those things.
I love it. So tell our viewers and listeners, how can they best reach Savannah Station other than driving out to this beautiful property? Tell us, how do they find you online, on socials, and so on?
Well, we do want them to drive out. We
I
want
love
them
it.
to come
Yeah.
visit.
Yeah.
But our website, savannahstation.org, is probably the very best way to connect with us. On our website, you can learn all about our program. You can become a volunteer. If you have a special needs child, you can also go ahead and complete the application and get on our waiting list. And we would just love to have.
It's outstanding.
We'd love to have you.
Thanks so much for joining me, Andi. I appreciate all the time. I'm so glad that I came out to visit here, my first visit to Savannah Station. I know it won't be my last. And for all of our listeners out there, check out the website for Savannah Station and get involved, whether it's through donating, volunteering, or getting someone in your life involved.